Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming for this amazing conference. I'm really happy to be the part and to be the speaker on the biggest product management conference in Moldova. Practicing yesterday before this conference, I got it that I have 3 types of pronunciation. It's British, Russian, and Indian, and it seems to me today you'll hear all of them. So my name is Sergey Komarov, and I have big experience in different banks. So today a lot of examples will be about fintech. I'm an evangelist of data-driven approach of product management, but today we'll talk more about how to influence different decisions of our users, or to get the information, how do brands influence on our decisions. As a rule, users are trying to get the shortest way to solve their task, to solve their problem. And here is a very good example. I really always surprised when some flowers, bad flower on my way. And of course, if I am there, I would go straight like a lot of people did this. The same situation. A lot of roads were built already, but people didn't like them, and they went in other ways. And it's a very good idea, very good point where city authorities could adopt to users' behavior, but they didn't yet, maybe a little bit sooner. My own example, once I bought very good sound bar at home, and every single day, early in the morning, I was waking up and connecting my mobile phone to the soundbar, choosing the device, connect to Bluetooth, and so on. It's very few actions. And the sound was really brilliant. I was every day I was listening to good music, maybe a little bit loud, so my neighbors were listening to this music too. Well, they were listening to good music anyway. But then I bought such a kind of speaker with AI, where Alexa, Siri, Alisa, Marusia, and so on. And it is very easy to turn on the music with it, when you can say something like, "Dear AI, please turn the music I like." And that's all. It's very short user flow. And besides, the sound in this speaker was much worse than it was on my sound bar. This very short and very comfortable user experience made me using this speaker instead of very nice soundbar with a brilliant sound. Very often people are ready to pay for making their user flow shorter. For example, airport is a very good point where people don't enjoy staying in long lines, and they are ready to pay for, to go through priority lane and to be very fast at the place where you can sit, drink coffee, and sit very close to the gate not to miss your plane. But the people very often looking for the shortest way, but not always. Very often they use the way that they were already using before. For example, they can go to the job and using the long way instead of a new short way and spend more minutes because they used to go always with this familiar way. They can still use cash instead of comfortable credit cards, or use uncomfortable credit cards instead of comfortable Apple Pay or Google Pay or something like that. Do they really enjoy typing 16 numbers, 16 digits, instead of using comfortable Apple Pay? I don't understand them really. One example from my own experience, in one bank we had different points for the user to begin the money transfer. Of course, it was a banking app, and every green square is one step. The first way through transfer main page, 4 steps. Through card page, 5 steps. Operation history, 2.5. And the half is just because if you go to operation history, if your operation is not at the top of the list, you should go downstairs and down and search for it. That's why it's half of the step. Smart search and messengers. And how do you think what was the most popular way to make a money transfer in this app? Of course, it was the longest one. Maybe because it was familiar for your users, maybe because of mindset, because the user thinks that, okay, I'm going to make a money transfer, I'm going to make it from these current cards, that's why I'll tap the card, and then I will choose the action, what I'm going to do. And it's a good example when the longest way was the most popular. Okay, let's speak about our decisions and choices we make. Do you really sure that all your decisions are really yours? I'm not, because let's say some more examples. In ancient times, when people were, running in jungle, and many, many thousand years ago, when they meet something sweet, some berries, fruit, and so on, they would eat all of them because they know that next sweets they will meet not very soon. They will eat everything, every single berry. Nowadays, we have a lot of sweets everywhere, but a lot of people still can't stop after opening the box of chocolates. They will eat all the chocolates and won't be able to stop. And waiters in the restaurants know this feature, and when after the first course, after the second course, they ask you, would you like a little dessert? They know that you're still, in your DNA, still a lot of sweets still. One example from a school canteen, and it's a good example when children were coming and they were taking a lot of sweets, but school workers, their parents wanted them to eat, more healthy food. But there was healthy food, there were fruit, but the first food tray that were meeting was with sweets. And they maybe wanted to take some fruit, but they didn't have enough place on their plate already because the sweets are already there. So what did school workers did? They just swapped these food trays, and when children came, they saw food tray with fruit first of all, and the situation changed. First of all, they were choosing fruit instead of sweets. And one more example about one company that was selling cars. Just with one single question, I'm going to buy a new car. They were calling to the users, their clients. They increased their savings by tens of percents. Every user said, I wasn't going to change my car, but now I think I'm going to, yes. Only after a single question. Okay, let's do a little experiment. We'll see two guys, and let's guess which guy is good, but which guy is bad. Okay, the first guy. He is loving, caring, normal, generous, and selfish. Okay? The second guy, with his red hair, he is selfish, generous, normal, caring, and loving. I guess that you think that the first guy is good, and the next guy is bad. But if you pay much attention, you'll see that the list of their qualities is the same, but the order differs. Why? Why do you think that the first guy is good, but the second guy is bad? Because after the first bullet, you almost were sure that this guy is good. He's loving. This means that he's good. And after second two bullets, you made your decision that he's really good. The same with this guy. He's selfish and then generous, normal, but it's not enough to be a good guy. And you even weren't reading these 2 points. It's called priming. It means that the first option, the first information which was given to you influenced your opinion, influenced your decision very, very much. So when I started developing a mobile app in my current bank where I work right now, I started with such a common bank with a list of products. There was not a lot of functions there. And I was asking myself, what banking app can be called convenient? It has good sales funnel, has good conversions, it is understandable, it has a lot of useful functions. And a lot of banks in the same market have answered yes on each of these questions. And I made another statement that a convenient banking app is a convenient banking app with low cognitive load. In Daniel Kahneman's book, he divides our thinking on two systems, System 1 and System 2. System 1 is solving very easy tasks and problems, like 2 and 2, and we know answer, we don't need to multiply it in our brain. But system 2 is solving more difficult tasks, for example, like this one. Maybe if you are even mathematicians, you have several seconds to count what is the sum of these two numbers. And this point is used by a lot of different companies. Let's imagine you came to a cafe and you want to buy a cup of coffee. But you've got two options. The first option, you can get the same coffee of the same size, but with 20% discount. But then the second option, give us the same price, but 20% more coffee. Okay? Which option would you like more? Who is more for this option? Okay, not many people. Okay, about 20, okay? And all others are for this option, yes? Great. So the result, telling the truth, the result is the same like it was when the experiment in the book, I took it. But system number 1 tells you that you should use this one. You want to drink more coffee. But if you use the system number 2, you will count the price of 1 milliliter of the coffee, and you will get this option is more benefit for you, because each milliliter of the coffee will be much more cheaper for you than on this option. Developing digital apps, digital products, I asked myself how to reduce cognitive load, and here I've got several recommendations. First of all, employ time-tested standards. We have a lot of templates, we have a lot of guidelines and so on. Users know them and they're very familiar with them. So it's not necessary to do something really special in each button. You can use these standards. Adopt user expectations. This is my own example. In our banking app, users could search, it's a screen of the search in the application. And a lot of users wanted to type their just a requisite. It's a card number or account number or phone number for money transfer. And they weren't, no results, as you see, because I didn't expect they would do this. And we just adopted to users' expectations. And now if they type card number, they will get the widget which they can tap and go to money transfer by card number. Get rid of external steps. Don't try to get all the information from the user on the first screen. If you really need all this information, all this, 10 fields, do it on several steps, or just give the possibility to register in your service, and only after them ask him several new questions. Visual declutter. Apple website is thought to be a very good example which is really decluttered. There is all the information there is very, very important for the user. It's very easy to search, and it's very clean. So it's just like an example. And reduce the choices. You know that these guys, Steve Jobs always used to wear the same clothes. And Mark Zuckerberg still does this because they don't want to make this choice every day, what to wear. They want to spend this energy on something more important, as they think. And here an example by ice cream. If you come to a restaurant and you have menu with 3 choices, it's chocolate, vanilla, and seems to me it's cherry. You don't need system number 2 to choose, because there are only 3 options. You can choose this. I like, for example, this one more, I will order. As for me, I would order chocolate one. Who loves chocolate ice cream as much as I do? Okay, after conference we can go and eat some ice cream together. But if you have a lot of options in the restaurant, you will choose the first option you enjoy enough. Well, for example, this is too big, too small, too yellow. Oh, this one is fine. And you won't pay attention to all other options because it's too much, and you don't want to use system number 2 and to spend a lot of your own energy for choosing the ice cream. And here are one more example from our banking app. For a long time, there were after the success in money transfer, we had 2 buttons: back to transfers, back to main page. And I felt myself every time that my brain is thinking a little bit which button I should to tap right now. And after developing the app, there was no sense in the button back to transfers, because back to transfers means that I was there already. But there are a lot of new points to start money transfer scenarios. That's why there wasn't any sense in this button. So we have got only one button back to the main page. And now I really feel that I like this screen, because I'm not reading what is written there, because only one button, I have no other ways, I have to tap it. That doesn't mean, it doesn't mention, no sense what is written there. And I was trying to get what the metrics will help me to understand that our cognitive load on our users is getting smaller. And our mobile app is much about money transfers. And so I decided to measure the time between application launch and successful P2P money transfer. And when we started to measure, to get these metrics, each column is just 1 week. There was almost no difference. And then we began to develop new features and develop new features, new services, and so on. There was a bug in address book. For example, if I type Sergey Komarov, I would find myself, but Komarov Sergey, nobody. It's a very funny bug. We corrected it, and the time went down. So after we added myself, my own phone number for each user, because a lot of users were transferring their money to themselves to another bank, so it go down. Android platform became a little bit faster, and new transfer button on the main screen. And now I really like this metrics. I see that it goes down on our new feature, and I'm sure that we are going in the right way. And so it's the application I started with, and this application we have now, it's more, like Revolut or like Telegram and so on, and we are developing a lot of our own features and making it much more comfortable. But Richard Tyler, an author of book Nudge, and myself ask you to don't manipulate your users, but help them to make the best choice. The best choice for themselves, the best choice for your business, because if it is not a charity, of course. And we all are product designers, product managers, product owners, and maybe we are the people who have to do this world more convenient and simply better. Thank you very much for your attention, your amazing audience. So I'm ready to answer your questions. Okay, so it looks like everything was clear.
Hi, thanks so much for the great presentation. You mentioned B2B, so I was curious, how do you convince or attract B2B customers into your interviews, or maybe you survey them, and how do you fuel your decisions for the product based on that information? Thank you.
B2B customers?
Yeah, you mentioned B2B transfers? So
no, peer-to-peer.
Ah, peer-to-peer. All right.
No,
okay.
telling the truth, yes, we are just working with retail users in this mobile application, and I only work with B2C audience.
Okay. So how do you actually get them engaged and giving you insight into what to build or how to simplify?
Thank you. We are now on a really very early stage with our mobile application, and a lot of features which we were developing, we could develop, on our own experience, because there were a lot of bugs, a lot of UX problems, and so on. But sometimes when I was speaking about a new interface on main page, it was really difficult to change it, because it was really, I was scared a little bit, like a product of mobile app, that it will be very new for the market, for this application. And we We talked to our users, we did some, a lot of dialogues and showed a new interface, and no one said that the problem, and for everybody was clear how to, change these tabs and so on. We are discussing with them. And we measure a lot of different metrics. For example, for me, very important metrics, daily active users divided by monthly active users, which is called stickiness. But it was growing we were fixing our bugs and making new interface. But now it's not growing because we don't solve new problems for our user right now. We don't have, tax payments or payments for their living and so on. We have money transfers, and the users can pay for mobile, for telecom and so on. And we need to grow with the task we solve of our users. We don't grow in this field, unfortunately. Now we just grow in the quality of our money transfer.
And regarding the frequency, how you interact with your end users, do you do that do you have a schedule, or is it based on a particular product feature or release that you're doing? How often do you have those touch points with the end users?
With users?
Yes.
If we don't speak about metrics, we just to talk with the user, we do it, I'm working here for about a year, and during the year we did it, about 3 times at all, because we were developing, such features which were clear for us. But when we go further, we contact with our users more often, because now we develop features which are unusual maybe for our users. We develop some UX features which are also unusual for them, or maybe not like in guidelines, though I said about guidelines, but no decisions are about guidelines, and so on. But we were on very early stage. That's why we weren't interacting with them very often. Now we interact more often. It seems to me that since September, we interact with them 1-2 times per month. But the first part of the year, only 2 or 3 times of the whole year.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Sergey, for the presentation. And I have a question. So trying to be a product manager that's driven with data, can you rely just on the data scientists, or should you develop your own data hard skills?
Telling the truth, I pay much attention to exploring the data by myself. Why? Because sometimes I don't know myself what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for some insights. That's why sometimes it's very difficult to say, for example, to data analytics to search for something special. When it is necessary to build some graphics, which we build, every month, every week, it's very easy to give this task to somebody else. But speaking about searching for insights, very often I do it myself or product managers who works in my own team.
Thanks.
I have a question. For example, you have already a lot of users using your application. You probably, when you have a new feature, it's easy to add because you just add something. But what if you already took a decision in the past? You understood that this was a wrong decision. Now you have to do a radical change in the application. And how do you do it not to scare the user or to make him lost? Mm-hmm. Is there a transition or somehow, how you solve this puzzle? Thank you.
Yeah, as a rule, we solve this task step by step. We don't make big step and a lot of, not to make big difference between 2 versions of mobile app. We had made such mistake in one bank. We always had 5 stars in Apple Store and Google Play, and after changing a lot in it, we have got 2 stars because we made very big difference between 2 versions. Very good example in Kinopoisk, if you know, that there was a moment they changed their website very much, and the users were not satisfied at all, and they get back to the previous version, and they didn't succeed in this change. So the lesson is that you shouldn't make big changes in one release, in one step. Even if you are sure that your current solution of the problem, your current service is not very good, you should change it by small steps.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. Especially appreciated the dark mode of the presentation. I have actually two questions. First one was related with how do you test your design and your new features, your new screens, your new changes? Do you have do you do A/B testing or any kind of testing like that on the users? And the second question I forgot.
Okay, I'll answer the first one. We are just starting to make A/B testing. We are not very big bank. You know, a lot of companies like, you know, Google, Facebook, maybe Yandex and so on, they have their own systems for A/B testing and so on. But we don't have possibility to develop it ourselves. So we just implemented the site A/B testing system, and we are just starting the first A/B tests. Maybe, you know, November will be our first A/B test in our company. But we are already changing our design, and we ask, first of all, we do, you know, such, we say quality interview. When you make an interview with several people, 7, 8, 10 people, to get feedback. It's long interviews, each interview can be 1 hour and even more. And we get quantity interview. We send maybe our design to special service, and we can get the feedback of hundreds of users. That, they will answer our question. Is it which screen is more comfortable? Which button would you click? And so on. There are a lot of different services, and we use one of them. But we are going to use A/B tests, and I hope we'll succeed in it. For the first A/B test will be in a month. We are just, you know, at the beginning of our product management and our data-driven approach in our company.
And how much time do you give for a new change to understand if it's a successful one or a failed one, or it doesn't affect the user at all? You mentioned that you are tracking the metrics, yeah, on the each screen, on the each action of the user, and for example, you removed that button from, you mentioned one screen, you removed one button, and that increased the experience. How much time do you need to understand if this is in a good way or in a bad way?
Mm-hmm.
You need, is it 1, 2 days enough, or you need weeks?
You know, speaking about the features we implemented in several months ago, for example, it seems to me that we needed just maybe a month to understand if it is good or bad. But speaking about something more difficult features for our users, nowadays I think that we'll need 3 months because we are banking mobile app, and there are several financial tasks which users solve just 1 per quarter of the year. That's why it seems to me 3 months will be enough for us. But I don't know yet because we are just starting with A/B tests.